This is going to be a pretty short and sweet one because I don't do Bugs Point, and therefore I'm really just touching on it. Open Lace 8. Now Lace 8 comes set up by default as a torchon. The grid you see behind is at 45 degrees. We're going to change this now to the grid that the designer of the software has said is 54 degrees. Now the reason I'm doing that is because their motifs that they have provided free in the pattern are set at 54 degrees. So first of all, we'll go to View. We're going to go here on the grids and use a drop-down arrow and change the angle from 45 for torchon to 54. Then we go back to Drawing Tools, and I'm going to use the default diagrams that come with Lace 8. So I load a motif, I select Lace 8 Bucks motifs, and I'm going to do a very basic design based purely on what's here. So let's do the sheep's head as our fan. Whoops. First I should have used the snap to grid. That locks the motifs that we drop in at the dot points. So let's try that again. Load a motif, sheep's head. And let's put 3 in a row. This will allow me to design around that motif. Zoom in so I can see a bit better what I'm doing. Now there's my head side. I've now got to think about what I'm putting in this sections. I'm going to alternate. Let's go back at load a motif. I think I will do the cloth stitch bud with a honeycomb center. No, I'm going to use the cloth stitch bud completely worked in cloth stitch. I could choose to use this one or that one because it both mean exactly the same thing. I tend to like more diagrams, more lines on my diagrams to make it easier, but certainly there's nothing stopping you using this one. Click OK. I'm going to put this one just in here, like that. I'm going to put honeycomb in here. So to make my honeycomb, I'm going to put my dots in. Now each honeycomb is made up of a grid of 3 by 3, so that's one honeycomb. I'm going to do a block of 4. So mark it all out like this. And then I come back in with Trail Artist and mark in the lines. Now thinking about the background is going to be in plain background and then a foot side. So I think Bucks usually has a fairly wide ground and then a foot side. So let's mark in these. Marking all the little blue dots that haven't got a mark on them yet. Now I'm not going to mark those ones because they'll coincide with this. Following along the line, considering we usually work diagonal. Now I'm just going to think about my repeat. I tend to use this straight GIMP to give me my repeat. So it'll be up this line, along that line, and then out and there. That'll be where I'm going to repeat down here. So let's do it in reverse. That line into there, down to there, across 1, 2, that would be right, and then straight down through there. That gives us our repeat. So I only need to fill the dots in that bit. Again, this is my repeat area. So let's fill in, I think it's 1.5 measurement. So that would make the point there and there and there. I'm using between the blue dots now because I've come down 1 full and a half. I'm not going to use that one because that's this one. Back now to the straight GIMP, and now this time I'm putting it from there to there, selecting it. I'm going to put 2 rows of passives in here. So I'll just delete or copy that one first. Right, mouse click and copy. Delete that one because I want these to be off either side of that dot. See the row of dots? Now, I've deliberately made it a little bit longer, you'll notice. That's so they overlap and the row should turn out nicely. Now, remove the ones we don't need. Item select. Don't need that one. This is our repeats I'm looking at now. Moving these lines because they don't actually belong. Group select. Using snap to grid and go copy. I'm going to scroll out a little bit. I'm going to put 3 repeats to make sure it looks nice. 1, 2, 3. Turn off the grid background and I can see it like that. Now this is at 54 degrees and you like 56. So let's see what happens when we tell the computer, going into view, changing the grid. I'm going to change the grid from 54 to 56. Look at how it is now. All our dots are lined up. Oops, not 55, back to 56, and press OK. It's asking us, do you want to change the current items to match the new grid? What that is saying is, do you want all that you've done to change from 54 degrees to 56 degrees? I'm going to go yes, and there it is. Turn off the grid so I can see it clearly, zoom in a bit, and there's our first design on LaceAid.